Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversations are pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Did you bring your thinking caps? Because it's time to put them on. Because the conversation starts now. Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. This is the spot. This is the address right here. This is the place where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. And we're taking a trip to Australia to be with my guest. There she is right there, the beautiful Kathryn Cooper. We're going to talk about the work that she's doing. We're going to talk about the book that she is about to be in and just life's quandaries. She is currently working with the International Coaching Institute. I want to hear all about that. I'm so excited to have her here. Let's welcome her on the edge. How are you, Kathryn Cooper?
Good morning, April. I'm well, thank you.
Yeah? Who's that barking?
Oh my goodness. One of my dogs has
What's your...
decided that they want to talk.
Absolutely. They want to be in the interview. What kind of dog do you have?
A German Shepherd, not a German Shepherd, a Bull Arab and come here, a Greyhound.
A Greyhound. Oh, wow. Is your Greyhound a rescue?
Yes.
A lot of people have Greyhounds as rescues.
Mm.
They do. They had a hard time, here in America. After they raced them, they put them in they put them in the pound. A lot of dog racing here and in Mexico.
Yeah, and I think we had something very similar. It was certainly an inquiry to them because a lot of them were being put down after they'd finished racing. So for a while there, the racing system was closed down, and there were a lot of advocates to, for the care of those animals that were racing.
Yeah, so I know. Are you an animal lover?
Yes,
I am too.
yes.
I am too.
Really, I didn't know that greyhounds were so gentle. When we first got a racer, my youngest was sort of seeing eye to eye to the greyhound, and the dog we had at the time didn't come into her face. He would just see her as she walked around the house and then turn away until she eventually became comfortable and walked up to him, and then he was all over her. It was, like playing and whatnot. But up until she got rid of her fear, he didn't go near her.
Okay, great. So, Kathryn Cooper, tell us a little bit about you and how you show up in the world.
I'm a mother of 4, and I've later in life decided that coaching might be my area of interest, helping other people, and at the same time, I guess growing myself. I realised that there's more to life than eating and working. I just wanted to feel connections with people on a deeper level rather than just going to a 9-to-5 job. So the coaching world started to look attractive to me, and I changed from working in a corporate office administration type role to working with children, working in a high school, working with children that needed additional help in learning, and also working in aged care as a support worker. So certainly with the aged care, it enabled me to have a deeper connection with adults, and I really enjoyed listening to their stories, their life experiences, their memories, their the good days and the bad days of what they learned.
And you help carry them through, especially aged care. It's so many seniors that I see that are lonely. Family don't come to see them, or everyone that they know, they're 90 years old. All the people that they know have gone on to glory, and they're lonely, and they still have so much to share. And then on the other side of that, working with children. So you're in that parallel in between. You're in those sandwich years. What is the work that you do with young people?
I'm working in a high school and helping special needs kids connect to the curriculum. So it could be scribing, it could be interpreting what the teacher's trying to explain to them in a different way or in smaller chunks so that they can absorb it and do the work that moves them to learn something new, be it maths, be it English,
Right.
learning reading even.
Right. And you have 4 children. So you know, are pretty much the subject matter expert in learning how to cultivate the minds of young people. So you take the work that you're doing as far as teaching and mentoring and the love that you give to these seniors and working with them, and you're going to be coaching. Define your coaching for me, because coaching is a big, as I like to call them, $25 word. It's very ambiguous. What's going to be your niche?
Um, I I'm finding that I get a lot of personal growth and satisfaction helping women who are transitioning perhaps from um, being a mum uh, to being on their own, to starting to figure out what is it that I'd like to um, experience in life, and that balance of quandary of, do I do this? Do I do that? Where do I fit into the world? And also those are like similar to myself, transitioned out of a long-term relationship and going, what do I like doing? What have I forgotten that gave me pleasure when I was before I was a partner in a relationship?
Right, because it'll suck you up like a straw, and you find yourself lost. You find yourself still longing. There's still things on your life list that you wish you could do, or you might be in that space where you want to pivot. You want to edit and filter. You want to forget about the past life. You want to not just be a mom. Maybe you want to be an artist. Maybe you want to start a business. Maybe you want to travel. So, in this self discovery process, what are you doing with women? Are you having one on one consultations with them? Is this meditation? Is it, what are you really kind of doing to help them find themselves?
Yeah. Mainly, I've been doing one-on-one sessions through conversation. But when I've joined up with a group, you may recall someone else that you've interviewed is Rochelle. She and I have been doing journaling in another group, and I found that the journaling is quite creative, and when I'm talking to people, they're suddenly realizing that there's this gamut of knowledge within them that they hadn't tapped into for a while, and the journaling, particularly in the handwriting, sparks something in them that they go, oh, I'd like to try this, or I'll do this for a little bit longer. It's unfolding a depth of myself that I didn't know existed, or I had purely forgotten.
Right. It's pulling back the layers. It's like I like to say, it's, like an onion. But when you pull back the layers sometime, it makes you cry. It makes you tear up because you're reliving experiences, but you also have an opportunity to reframe it.
Yes.
You can't take your old experience and apply it to something new because something different is about to happen. And there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of anxiety, but there's also joy and excitement. When you pulled back the layers to your onion and you found out who you were, what are some of the things that you uncovered about Kathryn Cooper?
There's a wild side underneath. There's a wild side. There's something I'd like to go back to. I didn't realize that I was creative, so I joined in with a couple of classes where people were doing art, and I've always considered myself as, oh, I can't do that. But in the process of doing it, of of learning a particular style of art, there was really something quite creative and amazing in itself. Um, yes, I might have looked for someone else to say, "Oh, that's a beautiful job," but for once, I could see there was a rawness. There's something that's quite malleable if I'm willing to step forward and play with it. Um, and it started me thinking about what sort of things would I like to do. I used in my younger days, I jumped out of planes, done skydiving, or jumped off
Wow.
mountains with a parachute on my back. Those wild and fun things, or hot air ballooning. Those adventurous activities are what really light my soul up. I can't say that I'm into walking far, but it's that journey, process of
Right. Right.
excuse me, of doing a hike and getting to a destination where you've got a beautiful view. I started to think about those things and go, all right, how do I make that happen?
Mm.
Is it matter of just jumping into the car and driving to a new area? Excuse me, a town that I hadn't been to before. Looking at there's a lot of farmhouses where I live that are empty and dilapidated, but there's something beautiful about them. There's a
Oh,
there's a
yeah.
story about the past that's, for whatever reason,
Because you get
stopped
to
still.
thinking about, the people that might have lived there, or,
Yes.
did they grow vegetation there? Were there animals there? Were there children there? What is their story? And it's very historical. I have a girlfriend that goes and photographs uh,
Oh,
old farmhouses and rustic places like that. And she's put together a coffee table book that is absolutely majestic. But she took it a step further, like you. The self discovery, she put herself in those frames. And so it was really, really beautiful. And so now you've catapulted to this point. You've been able to rediscover and pivot. You're finding a new way. And through that, you decided to become a part of an anthology. Tell me a little bit about your writing and your writing process.
okay. Yes. Well, another coach from the the International Coaching Institute had written a book, a collaborative book on gratitude, and that she's launched that and had great success with that. And her next thought was, well, let's try another emotion like forgiveness. And
Mm,
she approached a friend to say, would you like to be part of it? And next minute, I thought, well, I'll just join with it and
wow.
give it a go. And it was an interesting process because um, at the moment I'm adjusting to life as a single mum, and my head was full of, the past. What if, should I, could I, why didn't I? And so I used that as a process to make sense of what I'd done, in the past, and looked at perhaps what set me off on that journey, um, what occurred in my childhood that uh, created a need for particular style relationships. It allowed me to uncover how perhaps flawed I am in my communication style, or um, how I didn't communicate the way I could have, and what was I really getting out of being in those positions, being in those
Right,
situations.
right.
So it was
Well,
quite cathartic.
sometimes when, and I say this, I don't know what your particular situation was, but sometimes people pick up on vulnerability
Mm. Mm.
and they capitalize on it. Okay. And they ride it like a wild bull. you know, they do. They take advantage of you. And it's unfair. And then what happens is the shame game and the blame game. We fall upon
Mm.
ourselves. You are only who you are. And we want to be with individuals that envelop us, that encourage us, that motivate us, that shine the light on a dark place. So, wherever you are, Kathryn, as in this transition, bravo, because it takes a lot of courage. It does to rediscover yourself as well as still be there for four children. So, be gentle with
Yes.
yourself, precious.
Mm.
Write about gratitude, because you have something to be grateful for.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
You have something to be grateful for. So as you pour into these women, um, and you talk about gratitude, and you talk about love, and you talk about responsibility and self awareness, you put all these things in this package, and you're going to have to deliver. What are some of the things that you're going to encourage the people that you coach? How are you going to help them put on their big girl panties to walk this journey?
Good question. I'm really focusing on expressing yourself, and what I really um, plan to do and haven't actually done, but working feverishly behind the scenes to do a journaling program. I really enjoy writing and prompting and using quotes as a means to um, unfold a depth of um, the individual that's in front of me. So I'll be using my journaling, but it's also that one-on-one conversations, because what I have also found is that sometimes people don't 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 tell you the story. You have to hold space for them to feel
Right,
brave enough to disclose,
right,
and um, it's that process of being patient to open up. Um, so those are the sort of things. It's that one-on-one conversation. It's the journaling. I really feel the journaling will enable someone, particularly those that enjoy writing. I know that's not
right,
for
right,
everybody,
right.
um, but it's certainly a tool um, to use with people. That's what I've come up with so far.
Well, that's
And
good. And
I'm
also the
enjoying doing
art.
it.
Art is very, very powerful. I know that in situations where people have been victimized, they've been abused, mistreated, they can't talk about it. And even seniors, they talk a lot and express through art. You can tell a lot by the colors that people uh, decide,
Absolutely.
you know, uh, the the words that they choose to attach with that.
Mm.
What type of medium? Is it paints? Is it watercolors? Is it clay? I found out something very interesting about my brother that I didn't know. When he passed away, we went through his things and we found that he had a pottery wheel and clay. He learned
Mm.
how to do it in jail. Well,
Yeah.
everybody's been through something. But yeah, he learned how to use that, and he had a potter's wheel, and I had no idea. And I had saw some of his work, and he had really found a way to express his creativity in a different way. So art is so meaningful, like music. It's a way of expression. So if they were to paint, or if you were to paint a picture describing where you are today, what colors and what textures and what medium would you use?
Mm. Being a novice in this art world, I certainly have. I'm a bit in the earthy colours at the moment, in a very grounded, um, and the textures are sort of fine, and um, I would use leaves and things like that. Some natural products on top of the paper.
So
Um,
you use a lot of, you like textiles, you like the feel and touch of things.
yes, I recently did a workshop that used different fabrics, and it was weaving it together through different stitches,
Mm,
um, to create a picture that it had never occurred to me to do that before, but it was so therapeutic. I was trying to remember how to sew. I hadn't
I
sewn in years. That was not my forte, but I gave it a go. I gave it a hot go, and quite enjoyed the process. It was a process of playing with the colours, playing with the different fabrics, and sewing.
and
So
also bonding with other women. Was it women or men? Because there's this, what is that saying that we are weaving together the fabric of our lives,
absolutely.
and it's stitch by stitch. I get that.
Mm.
If you were a appliance in the kitchen, what appliance would you be, Kathryn Cooper?
Mm. I would be one of those vintage knives that have got the square knives, butter knives with the is it mahogany or alabaster square handles?
Wow. Why?
Because there's a smoothness to it, and it's molded slightly. It's not a sharp cutting knife. It's a soft edge. Um,
So
yeah,
something
it's
that you
bread
might be able to put some jam on, or maybe
butter.
cut through some fine cheese. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'd be a refrigerator because I just
Mm.
want to chill.
Good idea. Good
I
idea.
just want to chill. What are three things that you absolutely cannot live without?
Mm. A hug every day from my children.
Oh,
Um, an uplifting quote. Mm. And a gathering of friends.
oh, that's beautiful. So you are a very communal type of individual, is what I hear. Is that you like to be a part of a community, a tribe, and family is very, very important to you. That's great. What things make you laugh?
Um, the laughter of a baby. That spontaneous laugh that you blow on their bellies and they giggle. You know. Um,
That contagious laugh, that giggle, I get it. Yeah, it's infectious. It is absolutely infectious. What do you want your legacy to be?
mm, my legacy would be to take a responsibility for my behaviours and um, being remembered for being kind and holding space when the world looked like it was just too dark to handle.
Right. And I say this with love. It sounds like you're still very tender. I don't know where you are in this process of what you're going through, but I see a very strong woman still trying to find herself and navigate through this fabric we call life, weaving it together with the support of family and friends and journaling and art. So you're well on your way. You look absolutely stunning. Like I said, be
Thank
gentle
you.
with yourself, be gentle with others because now you've taken on another responsibility, and that's coaching other individuals through this process. What would you say to a woman that's in that same space right now?
Mm. Keep going and allow people to help you when you need it. Never believe that you're on your own,
Mhm.
ever.
Yeah, because we're never alone. There's always somebody there to give us a hand up and a hand out if we allow it and if we ask for it. So many times in life, we feel that we have to do everything on our own, but you don't. This is a transition. This is a transition. And you will, as they say, this too shall pass,
Yes.
you know? And you will get over and you will look back in that journal and you will flip through those pages and you go, wow, that is the Kathryn of old. And look at who I am now. Look at what has been revealed. You've got so much to look forward to. Life is wonderful. And it starts with gratitude. Like you said, every
Yeah.
day being grateful for what you have. That, just the fact that your ass woke up,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
I certainly agree with the fact that for me, I joined a group to the 6 a.m. group. So every morning for over 100 days straight, I joined that group to do morning exercise, journaling and a group learning of some sort. And in writing my chapter for my book, for the book, I looked back at my journals to see what thoughts I had over that time that might be useful to reflect on. And it's true, it's that every day attempting to do something, everything. I could see where the days where I was full of tears and hopelessness, and then something switched over time, and suddenly I was full of gratitude that I'd kept turning up, that I'd kept making that alarm clock to be with people and stay connected.
Right. What would you tell a 25-year-old Kathryn Cooper?
Life is not quite where you think it's going to be. There's still more to come. There's so much more to come. And I would say at 25, potentially going through a space of judgment, competition, I would really say, let those go. Be an observer rather than a judge. And experience everything. Observe it. Drink it up like it's beautiful wine, and trust that there's still something to be learnt.
Every day. That's my book. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm writing a book as well, and it's called 365. And that is what I have learned every day for 365 days, 1 year. I'm going to be 60 this year. Could you imagine if I had started that a decade ago? I'd have a whole encyclopedia. Brains, for you that don't know what an encyclopedia is, it used to be it's Google in a book, okay? It is. So when is your collaboration due to be released? Do you know?
I think it's later on this year. We're submitting all our chapters this week. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's middle of the year.
Well, writing is, again, giving birth, and you've done that 4 times. And you're going to watch it grow. I want you to be excited about where you are. I want you to come back and read an excerpt from the book for me and my brain so that we can hear and feel your texture, watch you grow. Because a lot of times people always want to pontificate and posture as if they've already arrived. Well, I'm the subject matter expert and I know and yada yada. And there's still a lot of insecurity there. It's like I look at the perfectionist. The perfectionist also is a sign, or can be a sign, of insecurity. So once you horn in on that and you lock it down and you say, this is who I am, this is the journey, you give yourself beautiful positive affirmations, you read back through the pages, you work with these young people, and you find that they are just diamonds in the rough that have been subjected to pressure. But the more pressure, the more brilliant the diamond is. Yes. And then you're able to work with these seniors that, you may be their last hope. You might be the last conversation that they have, but you're holding space with them. And that's so powerful. And that's something to be grateful for, because everybody can't do it. Everybody doesn't have the bandwidth. Everybody doesn't have the capacity. Everybody doesn't have the maturity. And I say bravo and good on you. Okay?
Thank you.
Tell my brains how to get in contact with you when you're ready to have this coaching program up and running, or when you have the book. And how can they get in contact with you, to work with you, contact with you, and hold space with you, Kathryn?
Via my email, Kathryn Cooper, Kathryn Cooper, number 8 @gmail.com.
Okay, brains, I'm going to put this at the end of the interview. That's Kathryn Cooper, number 8 @gmail.com. Thank you so much for being here on the edge with me, Kathryn, and just really sharing your love. Brains, I need you to share your love. Love, like, and share. Okay? I need you to love, like, and share this interview and all the interviews that come across to you via the internet or via your audio podcast, On the Edge. We've got over 1,400. I was going to say 14,000. I'm getting there, but 1,400. And there's a lot of great information on people that are making the transition, tools, inspiration, encouragement for people that have made it or are on the journey. Thank you so much, Kathryn Cooper. You are the best.
Thank you, April. Thank
All
you.
right. Bye, brains.